Hey guys, I'm Gugi, and today we're going to be reacting to a story of this lady who claims to have fallen in love with a boy that she can never have. Well, you know, in American society, that's not too uncommon. I've seen it happen a couple of times where the guy's an absolute stud. He's got the jawline, he's got the abs, good chest and everything, and good riz as well. But then the girl falls in love with the guy, but at the same time, that girl is not the only girl that this guy is dealing with. And it happens a lot in American society, so anyways, let's just get into this video and check it out.
Hi, my name is Nazomi from Japan, and I never thought anyone noticed me. Not until I met the sleeping boy. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start at the beginning. My sister would take me to school where I would sit in silence and never say a word to anyone until she picked me up again. And then I wouldn't shut up the whole way home. But she didn't mind. She liked hearing me talk, and
How's it possible to go through school and then you never say a word to anyone? Your teachers, classmates, someone you met, someone asks you a question, and then you keep your mouth closed the entire time?
would also give me a makeover using our mom's makeup, or dress me up as a monster and have me chase her around the house. Rawr, I'm gonna eat your head. My head? Yeah, it's the yummiest part. You really are a little monster. Rawr! When we got older, our mom moved to another country for work. She asked if we wanted to come, but we decided to stay. Akari had graduated from university and had a real job now, so we didn't have much time to hang out, but
if their mom moved to a different country for work and just said, oh, do you want to stay? Isn't Nazomi still a kid? So then she'd still need some parental figure at home? What happened to their dad? It's hard for me to believe that their mom just all of a sudden ditched them like that. Like, I can understand with Akari, yeah, she graduated college, so she doesn't need parents around anymore technically, but what about Nazomi? And also, how are they paying for wherever they live if the mom is not there?
I knew she was right. I just had no idea how I would ever talk to a boy. Then one Friday, the train that was supposed to arrive didn't come, and suddenly I got a really bad feeling. After 30 minutes, the train finally came, but Akari wasn't on it. I called and called, but she didn't answer. Then finally, I got a call, but it was from a random number. Hello? Is this Akari's sister, Nazomi? This is the hospital. Your sister was in an accident. She's in a coma. Oh.
Wait. Okay. So my question here would be, how would the hospital get Nazomi's number? So apparently Akari was in some accident and in a coma. So who could have given the hospital Nazomi's number? Right?
But she fell onto the tracks and hit her head. The doctor said it was impossible to know when she would wake up. From that day on, I started visiting her every day. I usually read to her, but one day I forgot my book, so I just talked. And when I left, I ran into the nurse in the hallway. If you have time, maybe you can talk to him too. He's in a coma like your sister. I think he was part of the accident she was involved with. He was? I think so. But we don't know who he is. He didn't have any ID when he was brought in.
So then the nurse apparently comes to Nazomi and says, can you talk to this guy that we've never met, that you've probably never met, that you don't know? But the guy didn't have an ID, so then they apparently don't know who this guy is, but then she wants Nazomi to go visit a stranger? Actually, you know, I thought that nurses can't do that. They can't just send whoever they want into the hospital room to go and see any patient. I thought it has to be friends, family, maybe someone on the approved visitation list.
Talking to him just like I talked to Akari. 30 minutes later, I was finally out of things to talk about. That's when I realized something. You know, you're the only boy I've ever talked to. You're a really good listener. I started bringing 2 books to the hospital every day after that. One for my sister and one for the boy with no name. Something strange happened after I was reading to him for a few days. Every night when I went home, I would think about him and even dream that we met and talked and fell in love.
This sounds like a very rare occasion when you just meet someone for the first time. Maybe you read a few books to them and then you just happen to fall in love with them. You happen to sleep and then dream about them like every night or very often. For someone that you just met, this guy have a really good jawline. Maybe like it couldn't have been Riz because the guy probably couldn't have even talked. That's why he was just sitting there and listening, or that's why he was just laying down and listening, because he certainly couldn't have talked, so it couldn't have been the Riz. So if it's just off of pure looks, then I guess, okay.
Went to the train station from his drawings. It was the same one Akari used to come and see me after work on Fridays. I saw a woman waiting for the train. Excuse me, do you know about an accident that happened here a few weeks ago? Yes, I was here. A young woman fell from the platform as the train was coming and she hit her head. She would have died, but then the boy jumped down and picked her up. But as he pulled her away, the side of the train hit his back and he fell too. Whoa, the boy I had been reading to all this time had...
Oh, wow. Yes, no, I can't believe that someone can hit their head and, like, really get a concussion or, like, really get severely injured if they fall on the train tracks like that. But then, this guy just happened to jump on the track and save her life. Okay, that might be believable and maybe they got back up in time. But what doesn't make sense is, how does the train hit his back and then he's still alive? Because would the train have literally just stopped as soon as the train hit his back? And where's the physics, like the motion, where he would be flying? How would he be able to fly to the left or right if he was on the track? Train was coming at full speed and hit his back. Wouldn't this guy and Akari not be around anymore?
My sister's life. Maybe I wasn't so ridiculous for having feelings for him. Maybe it was destiny. Then the woman pointed to an elderly lady. That older woman, I think it's the boy's grandmother. She's been coming here every day waiting for him. We tell her he's in the hospital, but she doesn't remember. I was so sad to see her waiting there for him. I wanted to tell her what happened.
So then some random lady in the train station happens to be not only know about the situation that happened a few weeks ago, which I can believe. Some people, they travel the subways frequently or they travel the train frequently, and they kind of know what happened a few weeks ago, but in extensive detail understand who the grandmother is and etc. Like, who pays that much attention to other people around them on the train system, unless maybe there is a crime scene or maybe there is a big fight that went on the train? Like, just that level of attention to detail, you don't see that in a lot of the frequent train users.
But he says he doesn't have time for girls. He says it's because of his work, but I know it's because he takes care of me every day. But there is one girl he likes a lot. He always draws her. See? She pointed to a stack of drawings. I looked through them all. They were all of Akari waiting at the train station. I couldn't believe it. He was in love with her. My heart broke into a million pieces.
So then it's very interesting here how you happen to have love of first sight for this guy, but then this guy also happens to have love of first sight for your sister. But what are really the chances of those two events occurring at the same time? It sounds more like lust than love.
The love I felt for him, it was all for nothing. And what was worse, if they both woke up, they would probably end up together and I would have to watch. Still, I couldn't let his grandmother be alone with no one to take care of her. So every and ate I realized all the stories his grandmother had told about him were true. He was kind, sweet, funny. Then he asked me to wait while he put her to bed. After, he asked if we could talk outside. I said yes, but to my surprise, instead of going out the door, he went to a ladder that led up to the attic. Wait, why up there?
This is where I go to draw when my grandmother goes to bed. And tonight, there will be fireworks.
He went up and I followed him.
Is this like New Year's in Australia or 4th of July? So how does he get fireworks there? Is it like any specific holiday? Or, yet again, is this story just fabricated? Which it probably is.
Even though I would be humiliated and look stupid, I would tell him the truth. But before I could, he said,
I kind of remember a little. There was this girl. I think she fell. I was in love with.
I know.
You know? How could you know?
I saw your drawing of her. Your grandmother showed me. You were in love with her. That's why you jumped and saved her.
Actually, no. I was in love with her sister.
So then it's interesting that after the coma, now all of a sudden this guy just remembers what happened without anyone telling him. Because usually, wouldn't it take someone to jog your memory to tell you what happened after a big coma, right? So then, yes, he seems like he did draw a whole lot of pictures of Akari, but then he was like, oh no, I was actually in love with you.
Drawings and I would get on the same train. Sometimes we talked a little. She said she was meeting her sister, and she started telling me about her, what she was like. She was cool and funny, and when she would get off, her sister would meet her, and I guess it was love at first sight. Like we were meant to be. Sorry, I must sound stupid.
Good thing he wasn't looking at me, or maybe he would have seen the hearts in my eyes. Why did you draw her sister and not the girl you liked?
So here, Kenji just happened to fall in love with the sister, right? With Nazomi. And then Nazomi just happened to reciprocate that. But then they didn't know that they both reciprocated love for each other. Something sounds kind of off here. And without getting to meet someone and see their personality, like you just see them and you're like, oh, I love this person so much. And then later the sister saw Kenji and was like, oh, I love this person so much. But then did Kenji notice Nazomi before the accident, and then Nazomi somehow never noticed Kenji? Something doesn't quite add up here.
Never the full picture, since he drew from memory but never saw her fully. It was me. I couldn't believe it.
After the accident, I can't remember what they looked like. I went to the station today, but I didn't see anyone who could have been her or her sister. I guess I'll never see her again.
Actually, you're looking at her right now. He turned to me, confused, and then his eyes lit up and he recognized me.
Oh, hold on. So then, did he not remember that he was talking to Akari's sister Nazomi? So, he drew this lady. It's like, oh, that's her sister. And then he was saying that he was in love with this lady, but oh no, I was actually in love with her sister. Then he's talking right to her and doesn't notice that he's talking to Nazomi. Really, man? Come on. You claim to say that you remembered it. You also have the drawing, and then he couldn't make the distinction like that they're kind of very similar. It's the same person.
But how? I don't understand.
I put my hand on his and kissed him. Just then, the sky exploded with fireworks.
Wow, what perfect timing. So the first firework happened to go off when she kissed Kenji. What perfect timing, and what parallel universe does that ever happen unless you have people who are paid to make sure that the firework only goes off after you kiss somebody? But then wait, seems like here the whole city sees fireworks? Or that there's a whole event based off of Nazomi kissing Kenji? It's like the perfect ending that you see in a movie. Anyways, guys, that's just my take on the story. If you like this... Anyways, guys, that's just my take on this animated story. If you like this video, please don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, bell notifications, and share. I'm Gugi!